So yeah, it is a normal morning. You wake up, and when you come downstairs, your mother is sitting at where she used to sit at the table.
Wanted to beat her. Dang it. Even trying to wake up early didn't work.
She looks
Um,
over at you and she smiles. There's my son.
that takes me a second. I'm like, oh man, I've heard that in so long. So just like that, like just threw me back a little bit. So I had to like compose myself and do breath like, morning, morning, mom. Um, how how are you? Can I get you anything? I mean, it's
Nathaniel has some tea and breakfast coming. Come sit down with me. I feel that I've missed time.
what but what do you last remember?
I remember going overboard. That storm came out of nowhere and it sent the entire ship under. I remember Nathaniel getting you into the lifeboat, and the two of you able to get away just in time before everything went down. I remember being in a dream for a very long time. I'm assuming that I was somewhere. I don't know where, but I had to have been somewhere. Probably some small fishing island where no one ever goes. Probably washed up on shore, and some kind family took care of me and eventually was able to get me back here. But I I don't know how I got home. Did did you find me?
In a way, yes, but the only thing that matters is that you're home. So, dream or not, maybe you maybe remember, maybe you won't. But the only thing we do now, Mother, is just focus on I think, just on the present that we have now. Um,
As much as I would love to do that, my son, I've been gone for almost 7 years, and I think we
mhm.
need to have a plan in place to explain my prolonged absence and miraculous return.
Yes, yes. Well, I think you just said it though. I mean, you obviously some trauma happened. You fell overboard. Maybe some sort of head trauma too. Was able to kind of get rescued, but he didn't know, forgot, where you're supposed to be, and then memory was hazy. You couldn't remember. You're taken care of. Eventually, um, you're able to find your way back, and then I don't know.
You found me and brought me home.
Yes, yes, there we go. Sorry, it's just
I
this is still
that
hard for me,
no,
mother. So I'm
no.
sorry.
I think that's a good understanding. That there are ways for us to put, especially if you found me in commoner's clothes, might be a good way of phrasing it. No one looks at a woman too oddly walking around the docks in commoner's clothes, common clothing. And we have holdings and operations in those areas. Wouldn't be odd for you to be there anyways. I think that's going to be the best way for us to do it. We'll look at a map and come up with an island that makes sense. We'll make contact with someone there and pay them enough of the song to remember finding me, just in case people get curious. This is when you remember that your mother was kind of the political one between
Hmm.
your father and mother.
Hmm.
Your father was like the the good face of the Brown family enterprises. Your mother's the one that kind of made sure that everything kept running.
Like, yeah, that ran smoothly too. Not only run, but ran smoothly
Right.
no matter what. So she ironed things
Right.
out. Yeah.
So, and I think that you spent so long away. It must have been so hard for you.
Yeah. It was, but you were never. So yes, I did think you were gone, but you were never out of my mind. You were my father, so, or your husband. You guys were
Oh,
never out
maybe
of my
both.
mind. So of course, sorry, this is stumble over my tongue, but you guys were never that far, if that makes sense. So it was
I
hard, but
don't
me
think
and
you were. I don't think you were far from mine, and I'm happy. She turns and she smiles as Nathaniel comes in with the tray of breakfast teas and some usual good stuff. So he sets it down, kind of gets everything spread out, and takes his own seat at the table. She smiles as she takes a sip of the tea. So Nathaniel tells me that you're courting.
oh, did Nate?
Nathaniel's just
Did
sipping
Nate?
his tea.
Did Nate always to tell you about who he is courting? Did he
He
fill that in too?
did.
He pro
He
Hmm.
he mentioned that he mentioned that he was planning on bringing Theodore. Theodore. Nathaniel nods his head as he takes a sip. By in the coming days, I feel well enough for company.
I kick him under the table like we used to back in the day. Nonchalant, boom. Well, yes,
He doesn't even shift, just keeps sipping his tea.
but that is correct. I am courting someone, and above to my mom knows who Felicity is. I
Your
imagine,
mom
right? I
knows who
think is more.
Felicity is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. Your mom
Okay.
knows who Felicity is.
I think you would remember, the good Felicity Fairfax.
That's why Nathaniel wouldn't tell me who it was.
Yes,
I'm so happy. You must bring her back.
yes, and I am. She does make me she does make me very happy.
Do you
It just
make
kind of
her
hit him.
happy?
That I, I I think that I do, but I mean, as even I think even with lovers, sometimes you can do both. You can make them happy, and sometimes you can make them upset, frustrated, mad, sad, but mostly I think happy. And I'm going to keep trying that to the best of my ability, anyways. That's all I can do. So, but yeah, I wouldn't. I can't wait for her to meet you, to meet her. I would love that.
It's just been so very long since I've seen the delightful Miss Fairfax.
And then there's also some other things I can show you later on. I know we have more time now, but there's so much I want to show you. The stuff the seeds that you planted, what they've grown into. I cannot wait to show you that.
I can't wait to see them. And you hear your cousin and her husband enter in as it turns into a family breakfast as everyone is talking and there's laughter at the table again, and it feels a little bit more like your family is complete.
This is the best. Like Badger's just like it. Just
This is
yeah,
it. This is
we have
what
that moment
matters.
like when you like you pull yourself away sometimes just because like your mind's so blown, but like such a scene, like he's kind of out of his body for a moment. It just
and that's kind of what we pull out of the scene, as it's we see the reflection of Badrick smiling in the polished silver of the teapot as we just pull out from the back view of Badrick and just soak in this family moment, which moves us now over to AP. You're muted.
So I was just saying, Scott, I think we might be moving around a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what Natalie was just.
Yeah, just the two.
Almost had it. Almost had it.
Badrick. Apparently, Badrick and AP swapped.
Perfect.
I can be AP now. Let's go. Let's do it.
Body swap
Whiskey,
episode.
Whiskey.
Ultimate
Yeah, we
challenge.
just hear my accent. Let's hear yours. Let's go. Come on. Let's see AP.
I'm okay. I mean, if you really want me to do
There
AP,
you
I
go.
can.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty
You
good.
gotta bring
I love
this
it.
in.
Pretty good.
I expect
I
this in the
like it.
future.
I like it.
All right. Maybe if we get a season 2. Maybe if we get a season 2, we'll do a body swap episode.
Before we go to me, did Cadman need to do anything with the conversational pieces?
I was gonna promenade with Bianca.
That's right. You were doing your
Okay.
promenade with Bianca. So yeah,
Okay, I didn't know.
you go.
Yeah, that's fine.
You go to where the upcoming promenade is set to be happening, and you promenade. Are there any discussions you have with Bianca as you promenade? She does still look slightly miffed at you.
Oh yes,
You couldn't have bothered letting me know.
yes, I'm dearly sorry about that. If it helps, we can rectify this, and I can arrange a meeting with you and the cowboy count, as I affectionately like to call him.
I think that would be a good way for us to go. I wish for, of course, all the children to go to their home, but I don't doubt the Count's intentions, but I'd feel more comfortable seeing them for myself.
Oh, but of course, it's only proper. Forgive me for there has been a lot of range ring business. There
has been, hasn't there?
And it's
Is it going to be going on for much longer?
Well, we do have to, in a sense, settle things in the ring, but we are making great strides in our competition. And if you don't mind me asking, I've known for some time that you know of our ranger appearance, and I wonder why you haven't I don't know, I guess done anything with the information, or
who would I tell that would believe that you were that you were one of the people gallivanting around?
oh, I guess that's true.
Not
Who would you tell of the handsome Vermilion Ranger that gallivants through Angel's Crest?
She snickers a little bit as the two of you continue your promenade. But, I mean, the other portion is it's not mine to tell. And if you wish to keep it secret, it's within my bounds to keep that secret for you as your betrothed.
Oh, dear Devonshire, you are too kind, so kind. I wish I could tell you more of these affairs, but I mean,
maybe after they're all said and done.
yes, all said and done.
She taps your hand. You should write a book.
Ah, Don Quixote, now the author. I do like
Now
it.
the author. She nods her head as a smile as the two of you continue around your promenade. Oh, by the way, have you talked to Lady Douglas about the physical health that we've discussed last time?
Oh, I was just about to. I will be making my way to the Coliseum, so I will talk to her then.
Oh, is that where you're going after here?
Yes, we have preparations to make, and I mean, I am one of her prized fighters. Not that I want to.
You are a man of many skills, and I think if it is within your pleasures, I would like to join you as you make your way over there. I've never actually been to the Coliseum. I've seen it from the outside on several occasions, but I've never actually attended a sporting event within it.
Oh, it is quite riveting. You just have to be careful to, always keep on your toes, even outside of the ring.
Funny, I would expect Lady Douglas to run a very tight ship outside of the ring, and inside of the ring for that matter.
Oh, well, as I've come to know, training does not end just because your guard is down.
She nods her head, and the two of you come to the conclusion of your promenade. Which I think then would be, we'll just go right into the scene with Cadman and Beatrice. So yeah, Beatrice, you are in your office, and there is a knock on your door.
Right. I think she's been like very incognito in the morning because she had sent certain chores out with her staff. Specifically, there's a change in menu, like in groceries, and she sent a note to be sent privately to the florist to bring back something wrapped later. No one can see it.
Okay.
And she's wearing much looser clothes because she feels her muscles are still hurting, and told Mr. Landing to don't plan for her to fight in the next couple days because she is not ready.
You were on the books anyways until 2 weeks from now for as part of the Boxing Day event. So you weren't.
Well, don't let anyone surprise me with a fight.
We would never let anyone surprise you with a fight. Last time that happened, we had to drag a body out of here. Why would we let that happen
We're
again?
alive. You're alive. It's fine.
When
it's
they
only
left, they didn't remain that way.
What?
Oh, you weren't supposed to know that part.
Don't I get told so I can send condolences to the family?
We took care of that already. That was already taken care of.
Just because you decided to name me queen doesn't mean I can't do things. I am capable. That's why I do the bloody
do
admin.
Everything else.
I love you, Mr. Landing. Get out of here. And then I'm in my office.
Landing throws the door open, sees Cadman. You deal with her.
Right.
He stops, bows a little bit to Lady Devonshire. Lady Devonshire pushes to see you and keeps walking.
Yeah, I give a little like smile to Beatrice. I mean, not to Beatrice, to Bianca. And I'm just like, oh, it should not be any bother. Lady Douglas.
Come in. Oh, I see.
Yes. Lady Bianca, I believe you know Lady Douglas.
We've met.
Lady Devonshire. Please, take a seat. How may I help you?
You see her kind of just like lost in awe of everything in your office.
Yes, this side is, our family sporting stuff, and this side is some of my favorite people from the sports. Back here's the leisure work, because I tend to do the admin.
Yes, we wanted to ask you a favor. If we'd be able to, have the kids have some exercise around the Colosseum. Learn some sport.
We have some boys and girls of a more rambunctious nature that need proper places to put those energies.
And Beatrice kind of turns and she starts pulling open drawers, grabbing papers. All right. So you need some physical activity within their weeks or days, so to speak?
Preferably things that could be turned into marketable skills for themselves when we can no longer afford to have them in our care.
She begins making some notes and then remembering some of the stuff she heard last night from Cadman talking to Felicity about the orphanage. It's like, all right, here's what I can do. We can have youth hours. Usually they would be in the morning because not as many fights happen in the earlier morning.
Perfectly fine.
But we can certainly have some youth hours as well as it freeform and any classes that can be provided. I can send over equipment, gently used equipment that we may have, and fund any new ones that they may require.
I'd have to talk to my brother about the coinage to cover that, but that would be fantastic.
Oh, it would be on me, dear. Which, speaking of,
She
are
looks
you?
over at you, Cadman. She's like,
Yeah,
"I
and I'm like,
don't know."
we don't speak against the queen.
And I'm still going. It's like, and speaking of, are you required sponsorship to build an additional wing for activities both indoor and outdoor?
Would be astounding.
Perfect. You will be part of the charities that we will donate to from our charity tournament.
That would be fantastic. Thank you so much.
And of course, I must drop by.
That would be astounding. I think the children would love that.
Delightful. And I hand the paper to her. I'm sure you must go over your own administration for all of this. But...
I'm the one who runs the admin for it, so yes.
Well, I believe we all should share in a brandy. And I go over to my cabinet.
And she just nods her head, and I think we pull out on
Jolly good.
sharing of the brandy as she kind of goes over the paperwork.
And I look at Cadman, I'm like, I'm making you look so fucking good right now.
I am making you look amazing.
just mad nodding with eyes.
So, I think this is
Review
going to bring us...
Douglas.
So I think now there's a couple of places we can go. We can either do the scene with, if Felicity is still up for going to the Brown Estates and meeting Mama Brown, and then we'll do AP after that.
Okay, yeah.
Cool.
It makes sense anyways, because mine would have been like 2-3 days afterwards anyway, so that
Yep.
way Gal had time to...
I saw my night scene too.
And you do. So we'll do this scene, and then we'll do the night scene, and then we'll do AP.
Okay. So after I play with Elizabeth, we had some duetting.
You notice that Albert's knuckles are a little bit bruised when he gets back with the equipment. I believe this belongs to your protege. And it is obviously the nicest thing in this house was this violin.
Mm-hmm.
This was the nicest thing. Like, he gives it to you with that kind of understanding. This is probably the nicest thing that Elizabeth has ever owned. And it's a good violin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not the best, but yeah.
It's it's Swiss and they make good violins. It's not Italian.
Mm-hmm.
It's not it's not from one of the big master houses, but it's a good violin.
She'll take it gingerly and then take it over to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
I believe this is yours.
I got it from the last thing my mother ever gave me. All right, shall we?
Of course.
And you guys play for a bit, and there is a knock on your door, and there's an invitation to call upon Duke Brown and his mother, Patrick.
Okay.
What is your mother's first name?
Oh. That is a good question. I definitely know where to put that. Oh gosh.
I know what my mother's name is.
Gosh.
Hold.
Hold on a second. Where did I put it? Oh my dear lord.
Put me on the
My
spot too.
notes.
What's your mother's maiden name?
Hey, I've gotten everybody at least once with something, so it's equal opportunity.
You know, I'm honestly used to the GM just making up stuff for me. Nah,
Your
it
We'll go
doesn't
with,
work.
Your character.
Isla. Isla's her name.
Perfect name. You're invited to call upon Duke Patrick and Lady Isla Brown.
So she's okay. She starts to whisper to herself, so she's up, but then stops and is like, "Oh, I shall. Just a call from my betrothed Patrick. He wants to see me later today.
You guys are betrothed already? We were just courting the other week.
I misspoke. Sorry, recording.
I see where someone's mind is at in the affair.
He's been there, and you know, when he's been in your life for so long, you just think he'll always be there.
I don't.
Oh, Patrick and I have been in each other's lives.
But I'm really happy that you do, and I hope someday to feel something like that.
Yes, it's very comfortable.
You can see that underneath, because there's a little bit of scarring and some issues for Elizabeth, but underneath, she actually has a very pleasant smile, and she has very kind eyes. If you do just a little bit of zhuzhing,
I just sort of, you know, I really ought to have Flory work on your hair. I'm sure there's just a little bit of shine here, and we could make you sparkle. What do you say?
You're a gem. I'm a faceting.
Well, I think being a gem is more about. She wouldn't pause, but Tiffany is pausing.
Right.
Being a gem is more about knowing who you are and being confident in that.
You feel the topaz necklace warm just a little bit when you say that.
And I think you can take confidence in. I think you can start taking confidence in who you are, Elizabeth. Because we're going to take you away from your father and start making people think of you and not him.
I'll try.
You ought to be alone. I'm like, Flory! I need you to work your magic.
Yes. Oh, yes, we do. Come along, duckling.
I was thinking we could go with curls. I think they would become her.
I think we'll get to the curls. I think we have to do some maintenance first, but we'll get to the curls.
Trim.
Come along, dear. And kind of just a little like bewildered as Flory starts talking a mile a minute about hair care processes of Victorian England and how intricate they actually were and expensive they actually were. And you kind of see Elizabeth's eyes kind of glaze over a little bit as she kind of gets pulled away, and you're free to traipse yourself over to the Brown Estates.
Yes, I will. I get ready in a nice looking peach colored dress, day dress. You have to look presentable, and I would
send a carriage over too. I think I don't know if you're too strong with gesture.
You
but
would send it to okay, no,
yeah.
okay, yeah, and then I'll
you're courting.
fluff my hair, and I'll tell the ma that I'm going. So,
who's going with you?
Oh, right. Flory's taking care of Elizabeth.
I haven't seen Isla Brown in so long.
Would you like to come?
Would you mind?
It's not, Ma.
And she kind of gets herself up, and you see that she's not in morning colors anymore. There's still darker colors, but she's not in the blacks. Kind of ever since the you're not quite sure who informed her of what, but she's been acting a lot livelier ever since Cadman's kind of taken over both of the Arcana. And this is kind of your first time kind of noticing that. Just with so much going on everywhere else.
You seem to be in higher spirits, Mama.
I had a dream, and it's probably a silly thing.
No.
Back at the open ball, that evening, the day after, that my boys were okay and that they'd find their way home, and I'm choosing to believe that.
I nod at her. I think that's worth believing in. I think they're out there.
She's also dressed in a proper gown to go out. She grabs her parasol. The two of you bustle yourselves out into the carriage and get dropped off. As you guys are going, Duke Brown's coachman is very pleasant and very talkative. Very pleasant young man. No, it's not senseless chat. It's, speaking of things going on in the area, speaking on stuff on behalf of the Duke. He's kind of hyping the Duke up a little bit. Like, he's trying to be a good man for his boss.
Yeah, okay.
We actually were just last week we were down checking out the sugar factory, and the people tried to pull him into drinking, but he just wanted to check on his people and make sure that everyone was okay. And not many lords go that far out for it. It's nice to know that Duke Brown, even after being so long, wants to make sure that everyone's doing okay.
Patrick has always been kind like that.
I can't imagine him as a child. He's always so dour. Was he always a child also?
No.
Now he's doing a fishing expedition.
I'm like,
he's
no, he wasn't. He
Really? What was he like as a child?
I just look at my mom, because she probably also remembers him as a kid. I'm like, how would you describe it?
Overly serious. He tried to be the little lord everywhere that he went, not in a bad way. He was just always trying to emulate his father. I remember one time, he must have been, I don't even know. He was still very young though, but he actually came out in his father's coat. It was the funniest thing. And I'm assuming, Badrick, that you were out at the door waiting for them to show up. You're primed and properly dressed up. You're there to kind of open the door, and you see Timothy, your driver, laughing and enjoying himself as he's pulling in. And he sees you in the coat, and you don't know why you being in a coat makes him laugh, but he can't help himself snorting down a chuckle real quick as he composes himself and comes and opens up the door to allow Felicity Fairfax and Helena Cavendish.
I'm too nervous to catch her. I kind of laugh along because I'm too nervous, sweating. Oh, that's okay. Well,
and we're laughing.
Good morning, Patrick. You look rather smart today. Is that your father's coat?
Helena can't help but just a gulp of laughter just sneak out.
no,
I think I remember him having a similar one.
Felicity.
well,
Felicity, there's a smack on your side from your mother's fan.
Why do you tease if not him?
Patrick just tries to come up with something. Can't believe his mind. He tries to come up with something. Nothing. He's nope.
Oh, it is a good thing he is a sweet and pretty boy. Helena says she taps you twice on the cheek as she walks into the house. Isla, as you hear Badrick, your mother, call out for Helena that she's in the sitting room, and the two of them kind of go, and they are obviously giving you two time alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, if you want to know, this was designed after my father's taste. I mean, he did have some pretty good taste, so yes, this is reminiscent of it.
Okay. He always was keenly dressed.
Mm-hmm. My mother always made sure of it. He wouldn't always, if it was his choice, he wouldn't come out as dashing as he was, but my mama always made sure that when he did go out,
He looked his best.
Thank you for she's good. I mean, as much as things, can be, doesn't make sure, they can't really hear. Doesn't remember pretty much anything, just the accident, and then described it as almost a dream that in between, but she's here though. That's the main thing.
Well, I mean, I suppose it's actually probably better for her to not remember. Be difficult to reconcile with what she's done.
Yes. I mean,
I think a fresh beginning would be best.
True. I mean, even though I don't even blame her for what she did do, though. I mean, who would in that same position, the time being there? But either way, I'm glad that you could make it. I know she's gonna love seeing you. But yeah, thank you.
And I think we're going to pull away from this scene on Felicity, on Isla standing up and embracing you, Felicity, and just how happy that this is how this is going to work out, and we're kind of almost going to pull out from the window on that scene as everyone sits down, and it's just a pleasant afternoon of conversation. As we zoom in, as the night falls, to Beatrice Douglas.
Yes. So I think when she comes back, definitely had Isabel fielding any letters, because there was a bit of gossip when she showed up the other night.
Oh yeah, there were. There are many letters of inquiry.
Yeah. There's probably like
Isabella,
half a dozen just from the general, trying to follow up every single hour.
So you see because I'm assuming Isabella is there is more than just Isabella in the house.
Yes,
Isabella
there's
Isabella is, I'm assuming, also the head maid as well as your personal maid.
Yeah.
You walk by her office, and you can feel the glare radiating from that room.
I go and walk by if the door's open, and then I just lean back a little bit.
15 from the general.
Delightful. Then I walk on.
You will get me a bottle from Douglas Personal Reserve for this.
Is he? All you had to do is ask. And then
there's another figure waiting for you at the stairs, because someone's been able to get a hold of some of those letters.
Millie?
Who is he?
You'll know soon enough.
She's just like, okay, I'll let this rest for now. I'll let you have your surprise.
Don't worry, my dearest sweet.
Does he make you happy?
And she pauses, gets a little bit of a smirk.
That's all I need to know. She sees the smirk. It's like, that's all I need to know, and she just scuttles away.
And evening progresses. Everyone goes to bed. She looks to make sure that the new items on the groceries have been got, which is new for her because she's very much Scottish English food. These are what she wanted, and the staff helped her pick out is Eastern Mediterranean, kind of the meze platter finger foods. So all the dips and stuff. And she did take some time to attempt to cook, which not a lot of ingredients to it, but the little honey dough balls from ancient Greece.
Yep.
So she has that all set up in her study. She's moved some things. And then she picks up what was wrapped that she got from the florist and specifically told no one's to see it, so have it wrapped.
Okay.
She fusses a little bit and then just grumbles it's really awful that I can't just send you things when you can send me things whenever you want. I know you're listening, good fellow.
Yes.
And I turn around. Well, I do owe you an apology for being so gravely hurt and doing something that should not be done, but I need to end it. And an answer to your own bouquet. And I hand the wrapped bouquet forward. Don't let me see your reaction, because it's supposed to be done privately, and I turn around.
As he does, you see something in the air. Do you catch what's in the air? He opens up, as he turns, he throws it over his shoulder at you as he opens up the bouquet.
Yeah, just sort of hold on for a second, because I turned around once I gave it to him. And what he sees is...
Well, it'd be falling in front of your face, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh. So what he would see is, it initially seems peculiar, but then once you understand the language, it's like, oh. First, there is just a base of some fern leaves, magic and fascination. Some purple flowers that are purple milk vetch, which is your presence softens my pain. There is some golden ambrosia, which is love returned to answer his roses. And then just a singular orchid, much like his, except this one specifically the lady's slipper, which means just win me.
Okay. So what he has tossed you is a perfectly preserved golden apple.
Oh.
The meaning is only matters if you give it back to him. So you see him, he just recovers the bouquet as he turns back. No emotion, not showing anything on his face because again, it's supposed to be in private.
Yep.
They're beautiful.
Good. And I look at the apple, give it a kiss, and hand it forward.
You sure? And he smiles and takes the apple. And as he takes the apple from you, the gold and gilding fades away, turning it to a regular apple. And there's a little bit of a difference in the weight in the air as he just smiles at you. His purple eyes fading just a little bit. Still vibrant, still cutting. And still with a purple hue, but definitely now a much more mortal shade of color. He takes a bite of the apple. And we're going to pull out from that as he leans forward to give you a kiss. That's where we're going to cut that scene. AP, you're up.
I would say that over the last couple of days, AP along with Grimbrook have been viewing different things through Galahad's eyes. And
there are two children that kind of really stand out to what you're looking for. One of them is a younger boy about moderate height, deep, rich black hair, a little bit too intelligent eyes. This is a kid who's experienced some trauma, probably, you'd have to guess. But always seems to be kind to the other kids, not deferential, but polite to people in authority. Very, very inquisitive mind. And one of the benefits for how you and Grimberg are viewing the kids is you kind of get to see them when they don't think anybody is looking. And you know, this kid is one of those kids who will, like, if a kid is crying and there aren't any adults around, he'll try to help the kid. Like, he won't just go get an adult. He'll try to see if he can help with the problem. If he can't fix the problem, he'll go find an adult. Um, the other one is a girl with about golden hair. She seems a little young. Um, she's younger than even a lot of the children who are there. She's not like a toddler or anything, but she's probably about 5 or 6 years old. Most of the kids here are closer to 8 or 9 years old. She's a little bit younger than everybody else. At first, you think it's just incredibly lucky, but things just kind of happen for her. And you can't tell if she's doing it on purpose or not, but like she'll get an extra cookie every once in a while that just seems to be there when she opens up a door to her cubby. There will be the cookie that was not there before, and you didn't seem to put the cookie there. If kids are being, a little bit rude and bullied, they'll trip on stones that were not out of place a moment before. Small things, little things, easily missed things.
Yeah. The other boy have any signs of magical talent?
You can't tell if it's just skill, but whenever the kid seems to put his mind to things, they get done, even if they should be a little bit out of his grasp.
Grimm. Now, I know the idea originally was to select one
You
child.
have room for 2 kids.
Perhaps 2. That way we also have more time to look over them and see who grows into the strength, and perhaps they both do, and they can share the burden of this place versus only one of them have to deal with
There have been people. There have been joint people who have used this place as their study over the years. Wouldn't be the first time.
I mean, the older boy seems, have a good heart, but there definitely seems to be some trauma in his eyes, which could lead to him eventually, letting that take over. And things come too easily to the younger one.
Not if he has a good role model.
That's what I'm saying. But even with the younger one, things come too easy, and sometimes when things come too easy, it's a slippery slope. But if we guide both of them,
I agree, and I think between the 2 of them, I think this is going to be a way for us to go forward with this. I agree, sir. I believe we are scheduled for the morning to meet with Kedman and Bianca, correct?
That is correct. And as you requested, I have not drank since midday yesterday. I've showered and I smell of no booze.
I said you could drink until midday today, but we're past that point anyway, so I appreciate the extra time.
I want to make a good impression. Plus, oh my gosh, I want to keep saying Beatrice.
Bianca?
Oh my gosh. Bianca. What? I always want to say, because it's 2 B's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
plus,
I get it.
Lady Bianca is quite aware of who we are, and I probably will be at least honest to a degree as to my intentions.
That you wish to bring a child into your family, and you don't feel comfortable leaving the Blackwood tree without an heir?
Yes.
I believe that's entirely fair.
I'm sure she's wondering why all of a sudden I wish to do this. So,
to be fair, I would be too if I was in her shoes.
Yeah. So, all right. Stretches, even though there's no reason to stretch at the moment. Just the whole idea. I wish Ellie was here. She would know what to do.
With all due respect, sir, having seen now 8 generations of Blackwoods, no parents know what they're doing.
Well, let's see if I can continue that trend.
Don't worry, he'll be a fantastic father, sir. And in the morning, you are meeting Cadman and Bianca at about 10 o'clock at the orphanage. So yeah, you show up on time. Cadman, you and Bianca show up on time.
Now, obviously, I pull in with the hat on,
Yeah.
And then
Are you riding in
take it
a
off
carriage or one of your horses?
properly. I'll come in on the carriage.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, and it is late enough in the day. The children are kind of finishing up their chores around the place. They've done their first set of lessons. They're doing their chores around the place. Then there's lunch, and then some free period before another set of lessons. From what you've come to understand from Catman about this place. So yeah, you kind of come up with, yeah.
I will say this: I would also have talked with Grimbrook to prepare a certain amount of money to help contribute to this place, regardless of how this meeting goes.
Perfect. Yeah. He puts a suitable amount of fundage into a privatary trust, with the beneficiary being the orphanage, for you to give the trust the documentation to Bianca. This is just a much more legally acceptable way than just handing over a big stack of money.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
So yeah, you have a letter from the Blackwood estate to addressed to Lady Bianca as the executor of the orphanage.
I will show up, and as I took off the hat. Lady Bianca, how are you today?
Count Blackwood, a pleasure as always to see you, sir.
Pleasure is all mine.
So I hear you're looking to adopt, she says as she kind of starts your guys' walk around the orphanage.
That would be the case. I've spoken with Grimbrook, and I do not know if this time or any other I will feel love once again. I don't know if you've heard, but I did have a fiance back in the Americas. Unfortunately, she passed away.
I'm sure she was a fantastic woman. You are a good man, and I can't imagine you with anyone other than a woman who is equally as kind as you are.
She was way better than I was, but thank you for your kind words. But as I've been here, and many people try to call to me for, escorting their daughters out, I just do not feel the need. And at this time, it might be wiser, especially as, time goes on, to adopt. So that way the house will always have somebody there to look over it.
You are not incorrect, and I can understand many reasons for you to look at adoption given that premise. It's not a question of means. You're Count Blackwood. Means are not an issue. With all bluntness, and I appreciate your sobriety in this, I can't help but remember the promenade that we had.
Well, I've only really spoken to one person about this, but that day happened to be an anniversary of sorts. So I was not feeling myself.
Understandable. And to be fair, I've never seen you as intoxicated in public before or after that event. So I am willing to give you the benefit of that with that reasoning. So, well, none of the children are currently under the adoption process for any proper families. So we're in a position for, without lack of sounding crass, what are we looking for adoption? Are you looking for a boy, a girl? Are you looking for siblings? Are you looking for...
Well, I was looking for actually a boy and a girl.
Okay.
That way, for one, it would help them adjust better when they have somebody that they're already familiar with to a new environment. But I think it would be beneficial to have more than one child running around and give a little bit of liveliness to the Blackwood estate.
I can imagine that. My father was always jealous of your estates. but my father was jealous of many things. I do think they are lovely, though, but I haven't seen them but from the outside. From my understanding of the Cadman mentioned that there's the possibility that you might be looking at hosting a ball later this year. He's being very cagey about the details, though.
Actually, that is true. I plan on hosting the Yule Ball this year.
You're planning on restarting the Blackwood Yule Ball?
That is the truth. Yes.
Oh, that is fantastic. That was
So you'll
that was
definitely
a
get
great.
to see the estates because you are invited, of course.
Oh, thank you for the invitation. But that's for the future. Let's talk about it now. And as she kind of talks you through, you kind of see, again, you see all the children. You see the boy and the girl that you were seeing through Gillihan's eyes, and yeah, it's kind of matching what you saw before. And it's not that the girl is lazy or anything. Like she's doing her part. She's doing everything. It's just her things seem to be done without too much effort behind them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I never thought she was lazy.
Right.
I was just assumed that, you know, when things get easy for people, down the road, it can become a problem, which is why she would need a steady hand.
Yeah.
I think he would spend time with each of them as well, sitting there, talking to him, playing with them.
So the boy that you talk to keeps side-eyeing Cadman.
Dang it! I've Cadman has been kind of like quiet the entire time and just been like looking at the kid.
Every once in a while, just looks and glares at Cadman just for a second.
And I'll show him like the card tricks that I do now with the cards vanish and reappear in different hands.
He goes, "Hey, wait a second. Do that again." He takes the cards from you, and you see him like palming the card and trying to redo the trick the same way you're doing it. And he then does it how you do it.
Impressive. I could teach you more tricks.
I would try not to be too impressed.
and then I'll lean in and I'll lean into his ear and I go, and I'll see you. I'm Mr. Count Cadman over there, or Cavendish. If you come stay with me, you can keep a better eye on him, making sure that he does. So
Cadman, all you see is him leaning down and talking. Yeah. And the kid just glaring at you, just nodding his head to whatever it is that AP is saying to him.
He is my friend, and he is a good man, but you never know. I need good eyes on him. I know Lady Bianca's treated you well.
I can help you with that.
Sounds good. And I asked him about the little girl. What's his name, by the way?
His name is Ryan.
Ryan. That's a nice name, Ryan.
And the girl's name is...
As you come up with it real quickly.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I know that tactic.
Victoria.
Victoria.
Victoria. I say as I look over to the Victor roll I have in the corner over there.
Now, Ryan, I want to adopt a young man like yourself, as well as a young lady. What do you think about that young girl over there, Victoria? Would you be impartial to her coming and staying with us as well?
Like Victoria, she can. I don't think she knows that she can do things yet.
What you do? You got a good eye.
My granny, before she passed, was a she taught me how to do small things.
Well, that's impressive. If you choose to come with me, I'd love to hear more about it when you want to share.
I'd like that.
I think it's important to remember those that we love so that we never forget them. important to share who they were with others.
My granny used to say, no one is ever truly gone until their names are forgotten.
We'll make sure we keep her name alive.
He nods his head a little bit sadly for a moment. But yeah, I think, yeah, let's do it.
Well, do you want to talk to Victoria and see if she comes with us? I expect you to look after her just like you do, like a big brother would.
Let me go talk to her first, and I don't think she'll disagree. And you see him, make his way over there and talk to Victoria, and you hear mentions of pretty dresses and parties and sweets. The usual childhood bribery stuff.
Yeah.
As soon as Ryan runs off, you hear a very loud Count Blackwood, if I may.
Not that one.
Yes, my dear friend. What is the concern here?
Are you sure about this small fellow Ryan?
Hold on here. And I will do the magic trick in front of you that I did for him. And I'll say, if you could replicate what I just did, the same way I did, like he did, I would take your thoughts into consideration. But it has to be exactly the way I did it.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
And this is how I do it. I said, take it into consideration.
Roll me. You have one chance at disadvantage. Roll me your hero.
All right.
You have one shot.
Come on,
there is magic in your blood. There is a chance you might be able to pull this off.
Probably the best.
No, drop and miss.
Yep.
So yeah, you palm the card and do the transfer. It's really smooth, actually.
I think for a second, it's almost like Thor when Captain America first picked up the hammer in the Avengers, and it like nudged, and Thor's like.
It's also not your card.
Yeah, that's not what we were doing, but I like your style. We can work on it.
Very well. Just know I'll be keeping an eye on him.
As he will you. And as I say, as I walk past you to pull out the envelope, I go, as he will you.
And as you walk, are you giving her the envelope?
Yeah, I'm walking. Regardless of how things go today, I'd like to give this to your orphanage to help with whatever we can. And if you need things in the future, please feel free to reach out. If I'm able to help, I would love to.
She looks confused and she opens it up, and this is for an educational trust for the children?
Why, yes. I believe it's important.
So Bianca looks over at you, Cadman, like you are an angel sent down from on high, because your friends are making you look so damn good.
I mean, what can I say? But propriety lies around every corner.
So, with us kind of hitting the wrap on that, on this day, Beatrice?
Yes.
Are you at the Coliseum?
Yeah, I think right in the morning, I avoid being home because I'm like, the general's going to show up and just invite himself in. He's going to just do it. So I go to the Coliseum.
Waiting for you at the Coliseum. Inside your office, sitting in one of the guest seats, when you walk in, is Brendan Farley. He is in bad shape. He is in real bad shape.
I close the door.
You didn't take one of his arms from him.
Close the door. Walk around. Duke Farley.
I fear that mistakes have come and caught up with me. Many of which involve around my treatment for you, which I will admit has been rather lackluster.
Honestly, I'm used to it after these number of years, and I go to my liquor cabinet and pull out 2 glasses and the scotch.
Do you want to know the damnedest thing?
Yeah, sure.
This entire thing started because I didn't know how to approach you to tell you you were the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in the world. You're not anymore to me. We're past all of the bridges on that. Too much venom has been spilled between us.
Oh, it's been quite a soured history on both sides.
It has been on both sides. I fired the first shots. I will claim the cause of the war.
Absolutely terrible form to criticize a woman instead of compliment her if you had such feelings.
He just kind of, as he just takes a sip of the offered scotch. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out the Arcana and offers it to you.
Just kind of stare at it a little confused for a second and look at him. Really?
What I was promised was not what he gave. Even
that I believe.
in counting the wily nature of such deals.
I go and reach for it, but I use my other hand to kind of clasp his. As much as a soured history we've had, I used to think we could have been friends in the beginning. You're an incredibly smart man, and I do appreciate your sword form.
Well, you realize that he is left-handed, and it is his left arm that is missing. I will miss him. But I choose to remain what little dignity I have. I am a wolf. I am not a kept hound. That's what I refuse. That is what I choose to leave this affair as, at the very least.
And I can respect that.
It's heavy.
As all important things are. Well, if you make a meaningful change, maybe we can at least be friends.
I think I would like that. So long as whoever you're secretly courting doesn't run me through in the middle of the night. I have a feeling that he is probably one of those individuals who would not take kindly to some of the things I've said and done to you over the years.
No, but he also knows that the woman he is beside would have done it sooner if she wanted to.
Fair. That's fair. As he lets go, there is no role here. There is no contest. There is no winning in Arcana that is given to you. But the weight, and you feel it pulling on you a little bit. It's a lodestone to the deeper parts of yourself. And as someone who's been researching her family's connections to the old ways and has been working on figuring out who that true self is, it's heavy. You know, you remember everyone else talking about wait, and how people keep on saying it feels like there should be a wait. You know, I was told there should be a wait, but there's no wait. This is that wait. And you see that without it, Farley sits a little lighter. He means to cheat one last time.
Of course. Always expected.
His goal is to get Count Blackwood into the ring with his cousin. And similar to the poison that I was forced to use on you, he has ways of directing that kind of effect within a pre-described area. I'm not in this game anymore. I should never have joined it to start with. But I entered willingly and I leave willingly. That was my one stipulation to him when I made the agreement, is I could leave on my terms whenever I wanted. And he didn't think I knew that meant I could do it this way and choose to spite him one last time. I do hope, Lady Douglas, that your side wins this in the end.
We're definitely going to give it our all.
So long as it's all said and done. He pulls out a pendant from Huntsman and Downing. When you win, because I'm assuming you're going to win.
Oh, certainly.
He puts it's like a little chest, He puts it down on the, it's like a lapel pin for you. Wear that on a lapel when you go to Huntsman and Downing, and you'll be in for a surprise.
So there is a secret. I knew Cadman was hiding something.
He called it his one reprieve.
That's going to be fun.
Again, I think in another life, we could have been very close friends. And I think that in this one, giving time to mellow, and he looks down at the still missing arm, heal. I wouldn't mind giving that a proper try.
I would like that as well.
He stands up, bows a little bit towards you, and you see that his arm is, the jacket is pinned up on his side. With that, I'll give you a good day.
I just give him the bottle of scotch. Take it with you.
He takes it happily. And he walks out. Cadman. Oh no, I'm sorry. You're over at there. Never mind. You're over at the orphanage. So no one else. Yeah, no one sees it. So it is now the following day. Everything is set up. What time do you want to make your declaration? Because you will have to be ready 24 hours after that declaration is made.
Well, here's the first thing I'm thinking I'm going to do. I want to write a contract magically with Grimbrook's help.
Okay.
That is going to say, this is upon my death, or this kind of thing, that the power be shifted. It'll say basically this. These are the key points of it. If I die before the match, then the power will shift to someone that I choose, or that I've chosen.
Okay.
If Celestia uses evil tricks to give my cousin an unfair advantage, then the power will be shifted over as well. If my cousin doesn't show up for the fight, then the power will be shifted if I die. However, if my cousin comes and beats me or even kills me honorably within the laws of the match, meaning that they could use the poison. This is out above game, I'm saying.
Right.
On his own accord, showing that he has some honor in him and has a will and a desire that is greater than mine to be the count, then this magical contract will be nulled, and both he and Celestor will be given access to the Blackwood estate and library. That is the contract.
Oh, that's a juicy bit of bait right there. Holy
yes,
cow.
it is. And that information will be shared. That is what I'm telling you guys. That is the contract. And
Grimmer gives you like, are you sure this is what we want to risk? I don't disagree that they'll say yes to this, but
can you think of some other thing that will definitely bait Celestor out before he is fully recovered?
Not like this. Not like this.
This is the best I got. If they try to do anything beyond or use ranger abilities or anything like that, same for me. It has to be honorable. Ranger abilities are off limits in the fight, or any of the magical abilities. It's he versus me.
He versus you, and you see him kind of going. He makes a couple of very slight modifications to some of the wording and phrasing on it. Basically wrapping up loopholes for like pre-setting an effect to go off later. Just very nuanced things for how Fae and magical entities interact with time and reality. So yeah, which is why you did this with Grimbrook. So yeah, he does all that stuff and he goes, this is as solid as I can make it. I would recommend having Goodfellow give it a look over before we send it over.
This only happens if I disappear. Now, if I live, then this also will be no longer.
Oh, this is all a moot point. But we're not worried about that happening, even though that is the most likely choice.
So what do the rest of y'all think? Is that enough of a bait?
I was about to ask, we're all here, right? We're discussing this in the meeting.
This would have been a team meeting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done this without you guys being involved.
Goodfellow and Catform is sitting and reading over the document. Goodfellow flipping the pages for him as he's reading through it. I think this is as good as we're going to get given the circumstances.
Now, there's a good chance that when I'm doing this with my cousin, Celestor might use this to try to target the rest of you somewhere else. So I will have to try to hurry myself up and defeat my cousin as quickly as possible so I can come to your aid if we need to.
Speaking of, they intend to use a poison, as they did to me, something similar, but more concentrated. So of course he has to try and cheat one last time.
Bill.
Would we know how the poison is applied?
Magic.
Can make an antidote.
I was going to ask if didn't Goodfellow pull it out of you? Goodfellow, do you have any idea what this poison is? Could we create some type of resistance?
Yes, some sort of resistance, man.
I can.
Even if you can't do it, perhaps I could in my final form.
No, don't use that form right now unless you have to. It throws. There are entities that can tell when you use it, the amount of magic that it generates. And we want to keep him off kilter as much as possible. I can give you something to take with you that if you were poisoned, you can take. There are side effects.
Which are?
You will no longer be fully human. The poison that he uses targets the mundane. Targets the moral.
And then she's like, question, is there what is wrong with that?
I don't how do I explain the value of the mortality that you have in a way that is understandable?
Like a precious locket against one's heart.
Very much so. Hey, Count Blackwood, you have spoken in depth with the general, correct?
Yes, to some degree.
Your situation would be different but similar. But you would be alone.
I'd have to be alone. What about the kids that I'm planning on?
You would have no one to experience what that is like you, with you. The children would grow, they would have their own families, and so on and so on and so on.
If I survive the fight, poison or not, would you be able to do for me what you did for her?
If you survive the fight with the poison in you, I can remove it in the same way without that happening. But you would have to end the fight quick enough for me to be able to get to you. And I can be at the sideline waiting for that to be done, but you would have to end it pretty much immediately after poisoning.
Okay, well then it sounds like AP's best chance is to go for a quick end.
Which
Do we
would
know
be our
how
assumption
Cedric
anyway.
fights?
Like a coward. You hear Grimbrook snort in the back.
Many
I
counts.
have a
dirty.
question.
Very dirty.
I can fight dirty too, so.
Well, maybe you won't have to, but what if we, I mean, so above table, what I know the rules, like, because you can give a card to someone right willingly, correct? Like, I know,
Well,
like,
that's
is that
what-
what you taught?
Well, okay. You don't know that actually, unless
I
Beatrice
gotcha,
has
okay.
shared that. Unless Beatrice has shared how she's gotten.
Well-
By the way, Beatrice,
Hmm.
you do have something to do in this room.
Yep, I haven't said anything yet.
Well,
Okay.
then,
Now,
then
I will
Patrick,
say
without
this.
knowing, he will ask. Well, because he would know, but he would still put it up. Like, what if?
So hold on a second.
Oh.
Morgan, what were you trying to say?
Well, no, let him say what he's going to say because it might
Okay,
lead into what
go
I'm going to
ahead.
say anyways.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah,
go
because
ahead.
I was gonna. Yeah, so even not knowing that, he'd Patrick would still say, "Well, play out his own card to me." What if? I don't know if we stack the deck, so to speak. I mean, are we able to?
Cedric
What if?
Cedric doesn't have access to any cards at the moment.
No, Cedric has no
No,
card.
I mean, what if we? I mean, are we able to?
I mean, don't they have to fight this
If
without
these-
tensioning or accessing the cards?
In the contract.
That's
down
in
there,
the current
there-
in the current
now.
agreement. That's what's on the case
Isn't
for
that
it.
the
Oh,
wager?
okay.
That is the wager.
But speaking of that, if you all need my machina, is there a way for me to give you temporarily control of it while I'm at the fight, so that way you can summon it if you need it while I'm there?
You would
We still
have to
need you
desi-
though.
You would have to designate somebody to take your role. You could temporarily loan an individual for Arcana.
I mean, if I'm in the middle of a fight and Celestial decides they're down a ranger and he doesn't think that we did that, which I highly doubt he would, it might be the perfect time for him to strike with a large monster.
He
Thinking
would
that
have
we'll be
access
able
to all of the constellations minus
Yeah, I
Sagittarius.
could just release them all at once when we're down one.
Who would you
Perhaps.
have? Who would you have hold your Machina?
Which of you wishes that temporary responsibility?
No, do not give a person a third Arcana. That is too much strain. You'd have to find somebody outside of the five of you to hold those cards.
Could Grimm
Well-
do it? Could you do it?
Does it have to
No.
be a human?
It has to be one of the families.
One of the families. Do we know anyone who's I suppose they'd all be dead.
Arthur. I mean, not Arthur.
What about
Albert?
what about
mean,
yeah? What about Albert, your
trust-
brother?
Oh, Albert would be fantastic. We'd have to
Super
tell him
fun.
that we'd have to tell him
Oh,
about it. We'd have to tell him about everything, but he'd be
I was-
fantastic in the job.
Well,
I think he'd be good too. I was gonna say,
no time like the present.
Okay, hold on. Blake, what were we trying to say?
no, I was gonna Nathaniel, because he can be crafty, but I think Albert's more of a fighter. Nathaniel's crafty though; he's smart. He knows how to kind of manage things. But
I mean, I'm fine with either one of those choices, but I really would leave it to you because that would be the person that's with the whole team if I'm over here fighting my cousin. So you all would need to agree on who you want to represent.
Well, Arthur's...
Actually, would Nathaniel count? Sorry, would Nathaniel count though? Because is he actually part of the family? Or is
oh,
he
never
just-
mind. Yeah, good
I
point.
suppose it's
Nathaniel would not count.
okay.
point.
Well, then it's Albert.
Albert,
Albert joins the party.
but I did like
I
the
mean,
idea
there
of Nathaniel.
there are other families also.
Yeah, but we
No,
know
but
who we
Albert's
know.
cooler. Like 100.
He's
He
so right.
he has a D20 as his.
He does roll the D20. He does roll the D20. You're correct.
Yeah, he's terrible at etiquette, but he's kick ass at everything else.
And everything else. Yeah.
I suppose we should go collect him.
Perhaps you and Goodfellow go and bring him here. I mean, it'd be a shock, but it'd be a quicker way than trying to slowly convince him.
True.
Shall we?
Okay. We shall. Put my...
Good.
Oh, he's a cat. Never mind. I just walked to him.
He's a cat.
I just
You
walked
walk up and offer your arm, and he
Oh,
just
you're a cat.
looks up. He looks up at you. He's like, "Well, we could do it this way." He turns into a pseudo cat, pseudo humanoid form.
Guess
Takes
what?
your arm.
She
He
just
looks-
kind
he
of
looks like-
giggles.
Yeah, he looks like a case that And again, very nice leather boots, big floppy hat, sword on his.
It was
waist.
really a force of habit. And
No, I
It's
quite
quite
enjoy this
fun.
one actually. I never get to do this. Besides, can you imagine the look on Albert's face when he sees me like this?
oh, it would be good.
Right.
Let's do it.
Cackling as he is. Albert is currently sitting in the family library. There is a low fire going as he is slowly twisting a tumbler of an amber liquid. He takes a drink. Puts it back down. And the two of you enter in behind him.
Whoosh.
Hello.
Albert, it's me, it's Felicity.
It's quite the trick. How did you manage that?
Well, I've got a friend. I call him Goodfellow.
And are you a good fellow? Good fellow, kind of. I am what I am called. Albert nods his head, sets the glass down. Okay, is this the part where you explain to me what you've been keeping secret the entire time I've been here?
I could never hide anything from you.
No.
Right. So she sits down
Besides,
and
have you're no offense meant. There's no way Cabin got that good at combat on his own.
well, and she starts to explain that they're rangers and what's going on and how we need his help.
Can I help?
Well, AP is going to go and do a duel with his cousin. And while he is otherwise occupied, we're afraid that Celestial might come and attack. And, we suspect that he will, since one of us will be down, so to speak. So AP is willing to loan one of his arcanas to you. and we thought you would be best for the position.
Very well. Let's do it.
Oh, that was pretty easy.
When have I ever turned down when you've asked me for help?
Just like, no, never.
That's right, and I never will.
Oh,
Eh,
thank you.
Is that Puss in Boots?
Yeah, I've thought of that. What do you say, good fellow? Is that the intention?
The stories come from somewhere, you know. And like I've told you,
You're the puss in the boots. What? How many cakes?
he kicks out one of his feet and points towards the shiny leather boot. I've put a long time into cultivating how I am viewed by the people of the world compared to what I was before.
Any other historical figures you actually are? Do you want to mention?
Have I mentioned Athens enough?
Let me see if she's smart enough to. That's an honor. So she's like, I mean, there's a lot of Athenians in history. If I'm to defend myself,
I wasn't the Athenian. I was the puck.
Shakespeare didn't make that up. What do I don't do anything, do I?
I've worked very hard to make sure it's very hard for people to put together that I'm many, many different things throughout your folklores and histories. You knew that I was the case Seth already that helped your family all those years ago.
Yes, but I mean, I always just thought that, just because there's one redhead here doesn't mean all redheads are the same.
They're not all the same. I have a special redhead.
Idris is pretty special.
Which is very special.
Now, we best get going back.
Yes, we shall. And he leads. And Albert gets on the other side, and you see him just stop for a second and go, "Oh, I didn't like that."
You get used to it after a while.
Yeah, it's a strange ride.
I didn't. That was
this'll
quite uncomfortable. He takes it and takes a sip. And then takes another sip.
AP's goal is to get everybody drunk at some point.
You're gonna need more than this for Albert.
I know.
So he takes 2 sips and he hands it back. Where are we? He's just looking around.
I motion to Arthur. RP.
We are in our base of sorts.
Understandable. It's important to have a place to strategize and organize before one goes out.
This card means everything to me because it's allowed me to keep all of these people here safe, protected. So I'm going to hand this card to you if you're willing to take on the role temporarily, because I do want it back. This is not being given permanently. It's on lend. But I want you to protect everybody here, not just your brother and sister. Everybody here is your brother and sister while you're this ranger.
As it is for anyone who's in combat. Those around you are all you have to protect and defend.
As it is.
As it is. He says as he reaches out and which card are you giving him? You have 2 choices.
I know. Well, will it work with either card? With the not gonna work with either card?
You don't know.
Well, I'll ask Goodfellow. Will they be able to form with either card?
Well, he'll have to go and face his own challenge to unlock his version of the Machina either way. Didn't you have to go for a challenge to unlock your Machinas every time?
This is fair.
You should
With
hold them both up, back facing him, and let whatever one speaks to him be the selection.
That's fair. And I'll do that.
And he holds his hand out for a second, and he takes the one on the right.
That's this one for me. That's my right.
Yeah.
So
What
it's
card
the
is
Emperor
it?
card, which is perfect for him.
For him,
Which
yeah.
makes perfect sense for
Yeah.
Albert. 100%. And he feels so he goes, oh, that has much heft for such a small bit of card.
Yeah.
Small bit of card.
Yeah.
What do I do with it?
I point to the door.
You're a jackass.
I gently touch Albert, and I'm like, you'll face a challenge beyond the door, and you'll have to face things that are uncomfortable. But once you move past them, I'm sure you will, you'll gain access
will-
to the Arcana.
I will say, as a fellow soldier, the first time I went through the door, I had to relive battles. A battle, a particular one that was very painful for me. I'm not saying that'll be your challenge, but that was one of mine. And it took me a long time to build up the courage to do it again. And then I tried many times before I finally figured it out. And it was horrible experience because it's like you're there all over again. It's not just a memory. You are living it again.
Well, all you need to do is to do. He says as he goes and opens the door, and he comes flying back out, knocked head over tea kettle.
Just like me. Well,
Oh, I am not a fan of that.
yeah, it's pretty rough.
Okay. All right.
And I actually
trial
I'll extend
run.
a hand to pick him up.
I haven't.
I'll extend a hand to pick him up, and then I'll put the flask in his hand again.
He goes like, no, that's not going to help on this one. That's not going to help on
That's
this
fair.
one. All right, let's try this again. And he's in there. And he's in there for a while.
I just
And-
pat Felicity.
Yeah, she's doing nervous takes, like fussing with her sleeves. She's like, Albert's seen terrible things. He can do this. He can do this.
Fully capable.
And
Yeah,
walking
oh yes,
out
he's
of the
seen a lot
room
of things.
in a green and white ranger suit with a rampant dragon across the chest. That was wildly unpleasant.
I mean, it is. It's quite. It's not very pleasant now. But
And you've done this twice.
the second trial's different.
I'm almost afraid to ask.
I see.
Well, for me, it wasn't that difficult. It was a matter of facing myself, and I rather like who I am.
As you should. You're a fantastic person.
I just see Albert's like kind of dragon motif. I look at my strength card. I'm like, yeah, that was supposed to be mine. Oh, okay. Totally good.
How do I take this off?
Just will it off.
Think about it.
And he just like looks at himself and just makes this motion, and the card's back in his hand.
Keep that safe.
This will return, and I'm not a fan of its weight. I'll be giving this back to you as soon as I can. He says as he puts it into his jacket pocket.
Understandable. Well, I think I should send my message along with this letter to Celestor, my cousin.
Where are we
I can see it delivered.
Where are we doing this, by the way?
Can you record my voice in some way? Because this is what I'd like to say.
Oh, you see Goodfellow just smiles at you. Of course I can.
And I make it smug as possible. And this is kind of what I say. We have beaten your plans at every turn. Even when you thought you had the upper hand, your pawns ultimately failed. And now you and my cousin, who wants the family home, hide with your tails between your legs. When I'm here waiting to face sorry, your face him one-on-one and about in the ring. I am willing to not use my powers as long as he does not use his. Everything he wants is here waiting. You can take me off the board, and it will give you a little chance to defeat the others. If you don't send him out tomorrow, then the shift of power of the Blackwood estate will leave my hands and be gifted to another that you will be unaware of. So if you want to continue hiding, you both will lose what you want. Not to mention you will lose face with other Fae, who will see you as a coward who backed down to a mortal's challenge. Here's the contract.
And Goodfellow nods his head, takes the contract. He'll be right back.
He probably gonna kill me after all this.
Mm.
Goodfellow returns. Mostly okay. He's wiping off, like the residue that like the hyper intense starlight can leave on people at this point. You see him just like wiping that off. His hair's a little bit singed. He agreed, by the way.
What was his expression when I talked about him being a coward to a mortal's challenge? Please, I need to know.
I don't think you want me to summon. You don't want me to summon Starlight within the Blackwood tree.
No, I don't want you to actually summon. What was his face like, though?
You see him turn, and he kind of moves his hand over his face, and this utterly inhuman but captivating features. The cheekbones are too shallow but too high. The ears are wrong. Everything is wrong, but you can't look away. And this face twists into this look of absolute despising hatred.
Well, I think it definitely sent the right message.
He snaps his face back to normal.
I think he's quite cross.
Mm.
At least it's mostly at me, not at y'all.
I mean, I think there's a general.
I think we could. Yeah, I think that's
it's
shared,
aiming in our general direction.
I think it's a shared animosity.
I've made a point.
What was that? I wonder what Albert's thinking is. He's like,
Albert's just watching all of this, and he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Albert, if I survive this, you are going to be an honored guest at the Yule Ball.
Well, thank you. I have no doubt that you'll be surviving these events. So, is there anything anybody wants to do before we get? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, she got to go through her door.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, let's do it.
So when everyone else disperses, she'll just be there with AP.
And Goodfellow.
And Goodfellow.
Anyway. Yeah.
Everything all right?
And I pull out and show the High Priestess card.
I'll be damned. How'd you get that?
Finally, it was not with a fight, but it was given.
Gave it? Just like that.
Duke Farley was in my office, missing an arm. And I know I did not deliver that damage.
There you go.
He had... No, but he said he had his stipulations, and what he wanted was not what was given. We chatted a little bit, and he gave me the card. think he was just a man that was very confused in his feelings, but he's willing to be a friend.
His help might make a big difference today. So
He was the one that told me about what they were planning on doing to the weapons.
well, I guess I owe him a thanks and a drink at the Huntsman.
Yes, the Huntsman. She like slightly smirks.
I'm gonna pretend like AP just assumed you knew about it because there's no way that you wouldn't be invited. No, actually, I think AP just forgot in that moment. He's just like,
yeah. Well, I have something important to do, but I'm going to have to paint you in woad before you enter that ring. As a proper warrior, as a proper knight of mine.
Does AP know what woad is?
I don't know what she's talking about, so no.
Perfect. We'll keep
like
it that
what
way.
that means beforehand, but
We'll keep it. Nah, it's a surprise.
Yep. All right. Well, I suppose no waiting anymore. I go to the door and turn the knob to the left.
There is that heavy, echoing chunk of an ancient and old lock breaking.
I open the door and enter.
And you're in your office.
The home one or the Coliseum one?
You're in the home one.
Okay.
And there's you. Are we sure we're making the right decision?
I mean, never truly know until the decision's made. Just work for the best outcome.
All we can do. How many women can say they're actually courting a fae, though? We haven't laughed in a long time.
No. And I go up to me and I hug me. Because damn it, me needed a hug for so long.
You needed a hug for so long, and you give yourself that hug, and that's the moment. And
hold me tight. I do whisper, we are worthy of everything we desire. We just had to stop waiting for permission.
We never really needed the permission. We just thought we did. So, and there is, in that moment, you are back again in the Highlands. The smell of peat moss and
Heather
and all of those other fantastic smells just pulsing through the air as you see this silver and gray Scottish deerhound Machina just sitting, just the very tip of its tail as it looks down at you.
I've known you before.
Many times. As it bends its head down and just goes in for the touch. And
raise up my hand.
And you're out.
I step out. You're muted.
Like dog.
I said, let me see your new threads. You out? You done?
I mean, I'm out, but we have been told not to henshin until we mean to.
Well, specifically, his armor, his Akashic Records form puts off so much energy. If you wanted to transform, you could probably get away with it. The artwork would be pushing it, though.
Mm.
It might
Nice.
be worth us waiting.
Yes. Yeah, I'll hold off.
Yeah.
I'll hold off. It's fine.
I'm just bummed. I might not be there to see you henching.
We're going to be around.
I don't know if he'll have the power to do anything too far away from where we do. Where are we putting the ring, anyways?
Yeah, I was wanting to ask that because I don't want my Colosseum ruined before the charity tournament.
I think we'd want to keep it outside.
Outside of London.
I think right outside the city.
Makes the most sense to me. Also, less people around.
I'll go and prepare the area for it.
And I
Is
will...
there anything you want me to take there for you?
For me?
Mm-hmm.
I guess, and I'll grab my Civil War saber.
Yep.
And my revolvers.
Yep.
Or my revolver.
I'll make sure that they're properly placed for easy access for you.
Hey, any other weapons you think would be useful besides my fist, my firearm, and my sword?
A dagger?
I think that's all you're. I think the fist, firearm, and sword is all he's going to need.
Hopefully,
All
I don't
right.
have to end them.
I will go prepare. Is there anything anybody wants to do before we get to the final fight of this entire season?
Oh, buddy. I'm ready to go. I'm ready for the
All right.
battle.
It is the next day. You guys take your own positions around the area as AP, you stand there shirtless with these blue marks that Beatrice has just slopped all over you.
Which I will say, in honor of this specific thing happening, she is dressed like an ancient Celtic queen like Boudica,
Yeah,
with her
she
own
is.
stripe of blood across her face.
She is. Yeah, she is.
Kind of prefer purple, but blue will do for the day.
It's what the plant delivers. What?
Right, well, I'm painted, just waiting for this fool to show up.
And as the time clicks down, and as all of you...
I was gonna say real quick, can we make sure that Albert is actually not necessarily out in the open? So that way they
Oh
don't
yeah,
necessarily
Albert is
know he's
not.
coming.
Albert is not in the open. Goodfellow has Albert kind of scrolled away a little bit
Yeah,
for a surprise if it's needed.
yeah.
Okay.
And as the time ticks down, there is a flash of starlight as Cedric is unceremoniously dumped in the ring.
See, there's lots of confidence in him.
Does he at least land with like confidence, or is it just like a?
No, it's like he looks half drunk as he is pushed out into the ring.
Oh dear.
Well, cousin, this is what you wanted. Yeah, I am.
Don't worry, I'll get what I want out of this.
Let me just ask you: do you really feel like it was worth everything? Your father's respect, everything.
Yeah, I think it's going to be when I get it all.
You still have no idea what it means to be noble. Such a shame. Here I am, just from the Americas. I shouldn't know anything about nobility, but I'm more noble than you'll ever be.
You're allowed to have your opinions, wrong as they are. Now, come on, let's get this over with. He looks like he's almost stumbling as he's making his way towards the middle of this ring.
And I walk cautiously because just because he looks like he's drunk and in a stupor doesn't mean he is. I've been in enough fights to know even if he is, sometimes that helps. So, and I'll approach, and I'll just kind of see what he's about to do. And I'm basically going defensive mode first, seeing what his reactions are, his first approach.
Okay, so when you're saying defensive, are we being footwork defensive or vigor defensive?
I mean, a little bit of A, a little bit of B, but mostly focusing on just taking the hits and
okay.
You know, kind of as a hit, kind of like pushing it.
Roll me a
like reduce. Yeah. Am I at regular right now?
You don't have 9.
No. I know I don't have advantage, but I'm saying like, do I have? Am I at disadvantage in anything? Is there anything?
No. There's no disadvantage. There's no disadvantage at this point.
I rolled a 9.
That'll do it. So yeah, he's fast. He's legitimately fast. He doesn't hit that hard, but the hits are quick.
Yeah.
And there's almost a numbness that is spreading from where he makes contact with you.
Already using the poison. Fair enough. And I'm going to just start unloading on him, punching him.
All right.
Gave him the first shot, and now I'm just going
to... Okay, are we just going for just dueling? Okay, so we're going for precise.
Beating this. Well, I mean, what else would it be if I'm just
vigor? If you're just unloading haymakers, that's a vigor roll.
Vigor. Yeah, I'll do vigor first here. Try to do some. Actually, you know what? No, I think I'll start off dueling with them first because that also gives me advantage. So, which is probably regular now, or is it?
No, it's still. It takes a little bit of time for this to kick in all the way.
Yeah, so I'll start.
It's a different kind of poison. Yeah.
Holy moly! Got a 10.
Unfortunately, you're not transformed.
Yeah, I know, but yeah.
But, what was your other one?
Oh, the other one was a 6. So.
Okay, so you do get your dueling. You still do get your dueling because unfortunately the 10 would not have been a dueling in this one.
That's right. I was thinking
because here only works if you're transformed. So yeah, you go in and it's you just 1-2 combo him square across the jaw. And when you're in this close, you're able to see that his knuckles are bleeding a little bit. And when you punch him and you split his lip and you feel his blood touch your skin, where that blood touches is where you feel the numbness.
All right. I'm looking for my blade at this point.
It's an easy grasp for you. You have to roll footwork to get it.
Okay. That will be a 3. So,
that gets it. And yeah, you're able. He goes for another lunge towards you, and you're able to dodge out of the way. As he does, there's rustling around the ring. As you see just an army of starlings. Not even constellations, just starlings. Just pouring out towards the ring. So
I'll help you.
Yeah.
Our cue.
That's your cue.
Let's not let this be interrupted.
Is there a way that when Goodfellow did this? Sorry, when Goodfellow did it, could he make like a barrier so they can't actually cross over into our fight?
Oh,
and did they salt the ring?
100%. Of course he did.
Okay.
I mean, he couldn't touch the salt, but he made sure it happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys all do your transformation because we're not going to go through the time of actually going through that right now. But yeah, you guys all do your transformation, and go ahead and AP roll me a dueling as everyone else tell me what it is you are doing to keep the starlings out of the way. Or are we just general duelings for everybody?
Oh, Beatrice would be working around trying to make like the first wave stumble up, so it causes the second wave to stumble over them.
Footwork roll. Duke Brown.
It will.
5.
Yeah. So, awesome. Yeah, but I would just chainsaw the nearest one, but it also reach out. I mean, like, are we calling our Machina too? Like, are we getting that in the back? Should we have those ready as well?
So that's my question. So you're gonna do that now, or you're gonna hold off?
I'm gonna call mine just so it can be in the wings. I mean, I feel like we're gonna need them.
Calling? As you reach out,
land,
you have two
so
Machina.
I keep thinking of shark on land, so like, you know what? The shark is the first thing on my mind, so I'm just like,
okay, yeah. So you call the shark, okay? So, Felicity.
Yes. I
What are we
don't know what to do yet. She is okay, so we have like an army of the starlings. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's going to try to divide the starlings a little bit, so like kind of divide and conquer.
Okay.
You know, she's trying to do a little bit of crowd control just to, you know, ease the burden that the other rangers are going to take.
Okay.
And so she's gonna play. Let's see. I do Erlkönig I do that for my traps. So she starts playing that.
Yep. Roll me a footwork.
Okay, that's a 3. There we go.
Yep, you got it. So yeah, as you play, the music kind of weaves through the ground, just funneling as it pops up and splits the stars into smaller and smaller groups, funneling down to different areas where your friends are all waiting for them. Cadman.
Yeah, I'm not gonna waste any time, and I'm gonna armor up, and I'm gonna try to stand stalwart, like back to AP to make sure nobody is making sure nobody gets into the ring while my friend is settling his business.
You ain't going nowhere.
Pull the Macho Man. We ain't going nowhere.
Nowhere. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Right, that's a 3, so I'm gonna use another Queen's Favor. Come on. Oh gosh, these 3s and 2s are killing me.
I get one chance to get that too.
Why not?
Yep.
I'll get that too.
Come on, 2.
Got
a 3.
Oh, that's closer to comfort than I would like.
Yeah.
How much would it suck to get the vapors in the last fight of the game?
We all get the vapors. Oh my god.
All right, so yeah, but you're still there, and they're not getting past you. You're not quite as impressive as you were hoping you would have been in this moment.
Yeah.
Because you go and you make the stand, and you realize that you kind of don't have the time to look this good, and you kind of have to kick the bottom of your lance out to smack into one of the starlings and catch it and get yourself back into the fight.
All right, this is not working. It's better as I thought it would.
Yep. And yeah, so go ahead, AP. What are we doing in the ring?
I rolled, like you said, for the dueling.
Yep.
I did fail, but I'm going to do something I've never done.
Use a Queen's Favor to reroll,
which puts me at 7, and I'm going to roll now, and that will be a 4. Yes, dueling. Yes, 4.
You were only one Queen's Favor away from getting the unlimited ultimate everything advantage.
I know.
So close.
So close.
But yeah, so
I'm not just charging him, and I'm trying to keep him away and cut him up to weaken him, trying to drain him pretty much.
That's how you actually win a knife fight.
Yeah.
Is you bleed him out. And yeah, it is. It's and you're very I'm assuming you're trying to be very conscientious of where the blood's going.
Yes, trying to. I know I'm already infected, but I'm trying to not keep getting infected.
Right. Well, from what you can tell, it's a numbing agent on the skin. You're not able to feel any lethargy or anything at this point, but you don't know if it just needs more time, if it needs to actually get into your bloodstream. You're not sure what it is. You just know the blood is dangerous.
Yeah, I'm just trying not to find out. So.
Smart man. So yeah, and you're starting to wear him down, and you're wearing him down pretty quick. Whatever is making him like this is taking a lot out of him. He wasn't in a great place to start with.
Mm-hmm. The whole time I'm just looking at him, just how am I related to you?
And as this kind of continues, and as this combat happens, and you're going to win this fight against Cedric, it gets to the point where your friends are able to keep the Starlings away. You know, Albert is still in reserve just in case. And it gets to the point where Cedric's just on his ground, his knees on the ground, just breathing.
This doesn't have to be to the death.
Nope.
But he has to concede, doesn't he?
But he has to concede.
What if he's knocked out and he can no longer fight or concede?
Did you cover that in the contract?
I mean, if you can't speak, you concede. I mean, that's standard combat.
Not in the old days, it wasn't.
I mean, I would have thought we would have, because I had them go over it.
So yeah, I think that's fair. That's when they would have been caught. So yeah, this would have been to the knockout with the option of fatality if desired.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just knock him out.
Yeah. Like, do you concede? No. Do you concede? No.
No. You can see never.
Never.
Go to sleep then. So yeah, and as you knock him out,
Uh-oh. Lost you. Can't hear you.
am I here?
I
Yeah,
can
I
hear.
can hear.
Yeah,
I can hear.
Okay. Now I can hear you.
Ooh,
No, it was my headset. It was
I
my
was
headset.
so worried for a second. Like,
It's
no,
been off the whole
no,
time.
No,
Yeah, I
no,
don't
no,
know.
no.
Randomly, it just like reconnected for some reason.
So yeah, no, you go for the knockout, and when you do, something happens. All of the starlings freeze. As you see Celestor walk out of the woods. You see now there's marks coming from where his neck is. This poisonous train of vines with thorns digging into his mask, pressing against the inside of his mask, down his clothing, pulsing. These deep, dark vines, obviously causing him pain. As he does, he looks around, not at you lot. He looks around. I demand a parley. As Morphia and Grige step out from behind trees. Reaching into his chest, into his jacket pocket, Celestor pulls out a bit of parchment. It looks old, ancient even. The markings on it that you can see, you cannot decipher. I have here a right of continuance. and you see just a sigh. Just this big buildup, and just a coming from your patron as she's just shaking her head. I knew he had a trick. I knew he had a trick. Grige walks up, takes the parchment, and unfurls it. He has the signatures of Tatiana and Oberon. He has claimed a right of continuance. He says that one of his cards was lost to him through through a way that goes against the meaning of the game, in a way that was agreed upon by outside observers. He looks over at the lot of you. What this means is you have won this round, but there will be another.
Well, as much as it pains me, as I'm like picking myself up with the poison salt, I mean, if you want to go another round and get your ass kicked again, we're here waiting for it.
Is that a direct challenge, Blackwood?
I'm saying, when you want to come back and do what you've been doing, we'll be here waiting. What you've already done, we've already kicked your ass. So we're ready to do it again. So go ahead. It doesn't bother us. We're ready.
We'll see about that. With this right of continuance, I have the right to claim my stage of combat. And he tosses the continuance into the ground. And as he does, this wave of energy starting where you guys are wraps up, and you see it just flow over the earth, invisible to everybody except for those who are gifted with the sight. You know, the bard of you humans had a phrase once: all the world a stage.
There's
Now
actually
he
a perfect
froze.
pie. There's actually
Froze
a
on
perfect
us.
spot for him to freeze.
Yeah.
Let's see if that maintains the truth to this day.
Okay.
Hold on, am I back?
Okay, you're back.
We're
Yeah,
back.
but you froze on the world as a stage.
Yeah, cool. Cut it there. That's where. But no. So, as he leaves Morpheus' eyes, you do all get your wish for this round. Whatever your desire is, we can fulfill it. But you are required to be a part of the next round. If you wish to step out, you have to find a suitable replacement. You will have 2 years to find a replacement if you do not wish to continue this. It is your decision. You will get your wish now either way. Outside of that, plan, grow, learn, do those wonderful things you humans can do. You beat him once, you can beat him again. I will see all of you tonight for your wishes. Sleep well. As she also disappears into the ether, leaving Grige looking at the lot of you. His very stoic, stone obsidian mask taking all of you in. Well done. Well done. His eyes lingering just a moment on Felicity.
I
As he,
can't see.
as he turns and walks away.
Sister, what's That
What?
about?
What? I'm fabulous. I don't know what you're talking about.
Very cordial this way.
Suppose I should apologize as I'm like now trying to direct the conversation. So questions don't land on Felicity.
Uh-oh.
It seemed it was Farley's giving of his card to me that brought this about. Sorry.
How would you have known? It's not your fault.
No, what
It's
Farley did was
typical.
legal.
This is typical.
No, what Farley did was entirely legal. I'll have to go and check and see exactly. Goodfellow says as he brings Albert, who is still not henshin, shaking out of that form of transportation as he takes the card out of his pocket and offers it back to AP.
Did you take the card back, AP?
Morgan, you there, buddy?
I'm trying to connect.
So there
I can't
we
hear
go.
us.
Okay.
There, hey!
My other
there it
ones
is.
died. That's why they were cutting out. So I was trying to
Got
get
it,
this
that would
one
do it.
on.
AP died. No. The poison.
I guess
So
I'd
what
take
all
his
did I pick?
wish. Oh well.
Now you
So-
got two. Is that how it works?
No. So no, Albert is offering you your card back.
Oh, and I take it back. Thank you for being willing to step in.
I hope I never need to again, but if I do need to, just let me know.
Speaking of which, we have 2 years to prepare for the next round. Perhaps you'd be willing to step in and help train everybody combat-wise to make us more prepared.
I can probably do that. And I have some people who can help with different styles for different people. He says, looking at Felicity and kind of all of you as he says that, because he's realizing that all of you are very different combatants.
Yes, I can help with the training too. Or
I-
just
Oh no,
Albert.
you. Albert's massive hand just rests on your shoulder, Cadman. Oh no, dear brother. I am training you specifically myself.
Oh,
You
joy.
will get my undivided attention.
Oh, hey, some brother time.
AP, would you mind if I borrowed that cardigan for training him?
I would love to see it, as long as I can also participate in that training
Of
too.
course.
Sounds
Oh,
delightful.
yes, joy.
Inside.
I thought I won. I won that duel. I guess I'm not winning.
I'm not winning anymore. All right, so. But Goodfellow is like, no, the entire point of the kind of setup that Farley made for that was what he did was legal and fair. I will look in to see in which way he's talking about. I don't know what he's referring to, as far as I was able to tell.
This is what I did at the concert.
I mean, that probably drove him to act spitefully. He motions towards where, vain creatures that Fae are, we all are. His reaction was most likely spurred on by that, but no foul grab was done. But part of the issue with Tatiana's and Oberon's signatures on the continuance doesn't matter if it's true or not, and that could just be because they enjoyed watching you perform.
I was about to say maybe they like us too much.
It's a dangerous thing to draw.
Punished
their
for being a good.
attention.
She's like,
I mean, we could have had a party after. We'd have been friends. It's fine.
You don't want to party with Oberon and Tatiana.
Right. Stories and all.
a little too hard.
I don't think you want to lose 20 years.
Very hard.
If not
I
longer.
suppose that's what they do. You live forever. 20 years isn't anything.
And 20 years wouldn't be anything for you either until you came back and found you couldn't leave. Anyways, I want to see where he is citing this, because for the continuance to work how it did, he has to be citing a specific incident. I'm going to check that out. I'm proud of all of you. You've all done very well. 2 years is a longer time for you than it is for us. I hope you use it well, and I hope you find joy in it as you go. I'm not going anywhere, though. Not any. He looks over at Beatrice for a moment. Not anytime soon, at least.
I mean, eventually
But
we
I
got to
am-
plan weddings.
We do have to plan weddings. But anyways, besides, there is a ball in nothing but a number of weeks' times from now, that we must all be preparing for. So, sleep well, Rangers. I will see all of you over the next couple of days. So, who wants to go to bed first?
I'll go. Oh.
Okay.
If anyone else wants to go, that's fine.
No, I think they're good with you going first.
He's tired, so Veritas goes and just like, ugh, just so annoyed with like the whole
Faye,
crew. It's like not surprised. Yeah, just like of course.
So, you go, you do what you can to put the day away.
I'll definitely rant to Nathaniel, like just like he always ran to him, so just definitely just like, and you know what else? Like not telling what I'm ranting about,
Right.
but just kind of yeah.
You know, sir, you can just say that being a ranger is hard.
Listen, well, Nate, you know what? I don't want to. How? Just how?
Sir, I've been watching you for so long. Did you think I wouldn't have figured it out?
I mean, thought I was kind of sneaky, I guess, but I guess it's whatever.
To anyone else, sir, but besides,
Wait.
your mother had to have come from somewhere.
Oh, did you? Does that mean?
She doesn't know.
Okay.
But I would never tell her.
I know.
But she says things in her dreams when she sleeps. I don't think those times have fully left her.
I don't think they ever will. I mean, how could it?
But we'll be here for her.
Yes, we will. I'm glad
He
it makes it easier now that
slides-
you know, so it makes it easier
He
now.
slides a mug of ginger milk tea for you to drink as he walks out of the kitchen. Good
It's better
evening,
if it was
sir.
black. Good evening.
And you fall asleep. Where do your dreams take you?
That's a good question. Probably on the first beach that me and Nathaniel, after the wreckage, like the first place we got to after that.
Yeah, no, 100%.
It was serene, like it was all like it was so like the disposition, like it was such like a nice little area for what just happened, you know what I mean? That we're kind of like,
Yeah.
wow.
Well,
So,
it's after the storm has passed, it's just that it is that tranquility. And you see Morphia standing next to you on the shore. This is a beautiful place.
It really is.
I'm as upset about this as you are, actually. I thought that we had this done and wrapped.
I know. It's not your fault. You do what you can do.
It's all one can do.
Mm-hmm.
But you are due your reward. What is it you wish for?
Makes a dramatic scene, like, really looks and like acts like he's taking really hard. Yeah, no. Can I wake up now?
You just
I
you
mean,
waited.
It's nothing against you. I feel like I'd be a hypocrite if I used it. I don't I thank you for helping, helping us with all this stuff, but I still don't agree with this kind of game. I'm still gonna do it because I don't want anyone else to have to do it, but no. But thank you.
That's fair. That's fair. You're awake. There is a small note on your bedside table.
Take the notes.
I know you will not take any wish or any prize. What I can do is promise you nothing but good sleep. M.
I mean, if I argue with that, that probably is insomnia. So like, before he says it, he's like, well, it's like, okay, well, good sleep. Okay, I mean, maybe now I can finally wake up before, my mom. We'll see.
All right, who's next?
I'll go.
All right, go ahead. So, how does Cadman wind down when he gets back with Albert and Felicity?
Well, just kind of stretch and be like, well, 2 years will go by very quickly, and we're able to best them before, we'll be able to best them again. I see no issue with this. I'm quite a fan of a good sport.
I want to know more about where all this was, and I'd appreciate both of you sitting down and talking through with me, given the opportunity.
Oh, but of course.
Certainly.
I
But I
think
believe
Take a
Need
bit
to
of
talk.
time, though. Yeah.
proper time, obviously, and I think Father knows more about this than he's letting.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's
Father seems to know
said
about a lot of things.
He's said things that make more sense now than they've done before.
Well,
he certainly knows something, as I kind of fiddle with my pocket watch with the 0 on the back.
well, our cat friend has been indebted to our family, Albert, for a long time.
Yes, but that's through Mother's side, not through Father's side.
That doesn't mean Father won't know about it.
That's fair. Anyways, I am going to go kiss my children and spend time with my wife. Good evening.
Good night.
And which one of you goes to bed first?
I'll go to bed first.
Yeah, Felicity can't sleep, so.
Alright, Cadman. You go through your usual evening ritual. Where do your dreams take you?
I think of the stories that Cecil would tell me of his high sea adventures, and it takes me to a deck of a ship, particularly his ship.
Yeah. The Lady Fortune? Or the Misfortune, depending on...
Yeah, the Misfortune.
Yeah. Well, it's both. The ship is both. But...
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is currently the Misfortune, the privateer and pirate hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And there is the call of the sea and the wild waves, the sound of cannons firing. This is about what I had expected of you. Morpheus says, looking around at all the action going on around the two of you.
What can I say? I'm a man of presentation.
Does not disappoint, Alan Cavendish.
But
What do you wish for?
well, I can guarantee that my wishes is not as much grandeur as immortality or wealth, but
I
only
didn't
the
expect those from you.
I wish for the lively and safe return of Clovis and Cecil Cavendish to the Cavendish estate.
Add now. Just kidding. Now.
Now.
She was waiting for you to.
Right, right now.
There we go. You wake up. And Felicity, where are you avoiding sleep at?
She's. How late is it?
It's not that very odd time where it's not late. It is both an acceptable time to be awake doing something or to be going to bed.
It's like 9.
It's 9:30, 10 o'clock.
She is probably by the piano or comfort instrument and is just like gliding her hands across the keys and sort of pantomiming the motions because she doesn't want to wake anyone up.
Hello? Hello?
And she looks, hello, Ver. Hello?
And opening the door is Clovis and Cecil.
Clovis. Cecil.
Whole and hearty and well.
I run over to them and embrace them.
They pull you into a hug, and the entire house kind of arises through this. And Cadman, as you make it to the stairs, you see both of your brothers kind of looking up to you, and just they give you the nod. You're not the same person you were before to them. They both know what you've done.
Brother,
Brother.
it's good to see you.
They pull they both pull you into an embrace. You know, brother, red is a fantastic color on you. I think it looks better on you than any of the rest of us.
Ah, thank you. You know, I have some high tales that I should want to tell you.
Oh? Do you think they can beat the tales of my misadventures on the Misfortune?
Oh.
And Albert's kids start getting enraptured in these pirate stories. As everything's going well. Felicity, what time do you slip away from all of this?
Well, I first bring Mama.
Well, of course. Yes. She comes into all this as well.
She will probably... Yeah, she's enjoying the welcome of her brothers, and once everyone else is going off to bed, then she'll sort of shuffle over there to her room too. And she's thinking about just a number of things. Like, even though we accomplished quite a lot, like, she's still, like, we didn't actually accomplish anything because nothing's changed. Like, the cycle is still continuing. We didn't actually stop Celestar. We bought time, and she's so different than how she was at the beginning of this versus who she is now.
It's been a hell of a month. It's been a hell of a month.
It's been one heck of a month, and she was so sure that all she wanted out of life was to, like, basically just marry Badrick. But now she's not that girl anymore. Not that girl was bad or anything. She just has, her horizons have widened, and so she's she's definitely still willing to give Badrick the full chance, because that's what he asked. And so, but she's not 100% sure, because she's not 100% sure about who she is now in relation to him. Like, she doesn't know how that will pan out, and so that's what's weighing on her mind. And just, it doesn't sit well with her that the Fae are trapped in this too, because she feels like they shouldn't have to be in this cycle forever. And she also sort of feels bad for Sarah because she thinks correction should be something that redirects you versus breaks you. And she's like, I feel like I kind of just broke her. I don't know. Maybe I should check on her, but also she really doesn't want to see me. So she's sort of just in her room, twiddling her thumbs, mulling over all of this stuff. And I think eventually she would just be so tired that she fell asleep.
Where do your fitful dreams guide you to?
I think they're I think she has anxiety dreams, honestly.
Oh, baby.
I think she's in like the woods. That should be which is sort of sad because she finds solace in the woods, but she basically is trying to navigate the woods but keeps going around and around and around and around.
And it gets to the point where the more you feel that heart rate building and building and building and building and building, you feel a hand on your shoulder, and it's a warm hand. Breathe. Morphia just seeming to appear in your dream. You deserve a better dream than this. Let's take you somewhere better. As she kind of guides you through your own dream, and in the center of the woods, away from the circle you've been running, you find yourself now at your favorite pond on the Isle of Man. And as you look, you're out of the woods.
That's nice. This is much nicer.
I understand there's much to be done, and it feels like you've accomplished very little, but I can promise you that's not the case. For Celestial to be this desperate, you've done a number on him. Usually the things that a lot of you've done have taken other humans, other mortals, years to accomplish. Most of that was him playing his own game wrong and trying to rush the events after thinking he stacked the board against you. He stacked the board in his favor, but that's more the fool he. But you still did the things that were done. You claimed 2 arcana. A lot of you have. You helped Duke Brown free a constellation. There's not been a freed constellation in over 5,000 years.
Just raises her eyebrows at that. One of them's free.
Each one of those constellations is a hold that he has on the heavens, and he just lost a 12th of the heavens. If the king of the heavens loses control of his realm, he won't be able to continue in the game anymore. And then it would just be Grecian Knight trading off every 100 years, because there would be no contest.
Will that be amenable?
More than the current state of affairs is. It would be growth and stability, and growth and stability.
How would things be run during your time?
You learned of the Renaissance.
The Renaissance.
You know of the Industrial Revolution, of the evolutions of industry that brought us to this point. She points out towards steam engines and things and such going around the world. There's issues with it, as there always is with everything. You know, there is overconsumption, there are concerns to still be had, but through them, if you cap off years of growth with years of stability to reset, reform, build your surplus back up again, so long as it's done properly with steady hands to guide, it's maintainable.
I think those are the right hands. She's just quiet for a little minute. I know we accomplished quite a lot. It's just small when I look at it from a really wide view.
Well, she says as she takes the heavens and pulls them down into just this little glass orb with spots of light swirling inside of it. Perspective changes everything. She says as she tosses it back up, and the stars reform the sky around a lot of you. Maybe you should just make sure your perspective stays where it needs to.
Go ahead.
I appreciate when someone cares as much as you do about everyone involved in these games. Not everyone does. But you have done well, and you deserve your reward. What is your wish?
Well, I want a ring that does certain things. I want it to work. I want it to be able to change. I want it to do a number of things. One is I want it to change its appearance and shape at my will. I want it to only work for me. And the ring can summon any instrument I so desire, sort of like my phantom one and my henshin form. And the third is, you see, I have a plan that I want to do, but I don't think I'll live long enough to actually get it done. So I'm hoping that this ring will also allow my aging to slow up to 500 years. I can adjust this between... I can adjust this at will, and I can adjust my age between how old my body is currently right now and how old I allow it to become.
So
is that amenable?
I can't do all of that. I
Okay.
can give you the first two.
Okay.
And I can give you 500 years at a growth rate of at an extended human growth rate. So you would start where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you would age from now for 500 years at a human rate spread over that time. It would be just like where I'm. This is Grimm issue, not Morphia issue.
Okay.
It's not equitable. The ratio of growth, the growth ratio would be the same. So
Mm-hmm.
you would age per year, however many years it would be for the 500 years for you to live, section of year per age for that.
She's like,
and I will allow it to be where you can adjust your age to this, or whatever the current age for their period. You can choose one or the other, and you can only choose once a year on your birthday how you want to appear for the next year.
okay, that works for me.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
Tiffany mind was just like, if I just ask for 500 years, she's gonna spend like 100 years being 80, and that's terrible. So
That's horrible.
I was like, no. So anyway,
So yeah. Yeah, she gives you the ring.
great,
You will wake up and the ring will be by your bed.
perfect.
Perfect. All right. AP.
I think first we will see Arthur. I'm trying to think how I want it. He would actually be at his house reading to the children
Mm-hmm.
a book. And I think we see him sitting between two beds where they're in. It's obviously late at night. And there's like candlelight to just enough brighten up the room so he can read the book. And the book is titled The Coral Island, A Tale of the Pacific Ocean, which is written by R.M. Ballantyne. This is from around that time. I looked it up. It's a story about coming of age for young
They're
boys'
still a little
adventures.
young for Don Quixote. Just a
Yeah.
little young.
But I think we see him reading to them, and we see their eyes going from excitement to ones of sleepiness as he's reading. And one of the last lines he reads, which is from this book, the only way to discover the limits, the only way to discover the limits of the possible is to go beyond them into the impossible. And with that, he closes the book as the kids like pass out, and he puts the book down on the counter, and he gets up and he walks to his room, and he lays down and he falls asleep.
Where do his dreams take him?
He finds himself for the first time on his and Ellie's farm home, and he's sitting on the hill under an old oak tree that's near the house. And I think we see from here, he can see her off in the distance working on the farm, and we see what looks to be Ryan and Victoria running around the farm. And he just kind of is sitting there on the hill looking at what could have been with what is now, kind of thing.
You can have this, you know.
Yeah.
You're not going to.
No, I'm not. Because what would happen if I changed the past and had my Ellie return to the world of living? There'd be consequences for those actions.
There would be.
And consequences that I'm pretty sure she would be unhappy with.
Quite possibly.
Wouldn't have been so long ago that I would have done the selfish thing and wished for that, but she made me promise two things: to not let a death harden me, and to find a way to use my talents and intelligence to make a difference in the world. Coming here, being a part of this group, I definitely think that's made me not hard. Hasn't hardened me, it's made me better. Created a new life here, a new family, and he points to the kids. And I think that's shown me my true purpose. I think I want to be the powerful archdruid that I should be, so that I can use the magic, study the magic, to help stand vigilant over all of Angel Crest, but especially all of them. And as you see, like, all of you guys are actually on the farm as well, with like your loved ones and things like that. I want to make sure that they all live a long life. So I was thinking maybe I'll be as almost as powerful. I don't think I'm quite ready to be as powerful as I am in my ultimate form, but close to that if possible. So that way I can do what needs to be done.
May I make a recommendation for this wish?
Please. Also, I don't want to lose my ranger powers either. That way I can stay vigilant.
Correct. What you lack is experience when it comes to magic.
I want the experience and the strength to use it.
And the strength to use it. You see her kind of hold out a small orb to you, and through it you are able to see a life that would lead you to these points with these things still there. But there are mentors and individuals. Your father taught you more. And then as you progressed from different people, from native shamans to neo-druidics to different individuals, but nothing at any point enough to stray you from the path to get here. Would this work?
Do I feel like it would work? Yeah, like it
Yeah.
seemed like it'd give me the power that I need to be able to open the portal like I did.
Well, that's a lot of that's a lot of magic. But this would give you what you're looking for. Right. This would get you in a position where, with the Blackwood tree to learn from, you could get yourself there in a year and in a couple of years' time.
I think this will do.
She goes and she pats your cheek, and as she does, she kind of just slips this ball into the side of your head. And you black out in the dream, and you wake up in reality, and you remember things you don't remember learning, but you remember learning them.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember people you don't know, but you know that you know.
Yeah. And I would say, like, if possible, before I wake up from the dream, I would look out and I'd see Ellie waving at me from the distance.
Oh, yeah. Do you wave back?
Yeah.
And yeah.
When I wake up, I do want to do one thing, but I'll do it after you do the next thing. I think it'll be interesting.
Beatrice, you're up.
Yes. So, being dropped off at home, Millie is probably still up because she likes to stay up to see what I have to say about my day.
She does.
Which she'd be surprised to see me in, basically cosplaying as Boudica.
She's very confused. Like, she's into it. She loves it. Why? And can I do it with you next time?
Well, you must celebrate in all culture and history. Maybe I should wear this to the Highland Games in the spring.
Yes, let's go.
And I kind of wrap her up in a hug, give her a kiss on her head, and I think just spend a bit of the evening with her. I sing a song that I used to sing to her, of a lassie that liked to go wandering. But when she's done wandering, she'll hear the call of home. And then when she's off to bed, I sort of linger about the house, walking, pacing. There's still sort of that anxiety of, what if I was the one that did something wrong? But I'm going to make sure it's right. I'm going to step up and make sure it's done right. And she'll eventually find her way to bed. And it takes a bit for her to settle, to sleep. There's the pains from the fighting. There's all the thoughts. But I think something just allows her to sleep.
Where did your dreams take you?
It's sort of a montage at first. And for Beatrice, it's following a path of all the times she's gone off on Brody on horseback, dropping tokens in different places she would find through Scotland on journeys when her family traveled to different places. So we see the hills up in the north of Highlands, covered in heather. And there's one spot where she found a white heather that she laid some hair. And we see the fairy pools in the coast, seals making play in the distance. There's a pewter coin just sitting in one of those pools. As it sort of views through a fog across Scotland, eventually lands on a place that had appeared to her unexpectedly. She didn't recall it being on a map, but a small lake where her last token was laid. And she's sitting on a rock. She's dressed in just a white, pure white maiden outfit. The bottoms of it sort of dyed a bit of a cerulean Celtic blue. Her hair is just all out and wild and draping down her, sort of cascading. And she just stares at the water.
If you're not careful, they won't be able to wear that dress for much longer.
I'm wondering what you're insinuating, good lady. As I turn.
Morphia chuckles as she sits next to you and just looking into the water. He deserves to be happy. And you deserve someone who allows you to be here.
Thank you.
I expect to be invited to the wedding.
Oh, of course. Honestly, I feel terrible. I wanted to invite you for tea for a while, but it seemed things kept getting in the way. I'll make a habit of making sure there is space for you.
You see her kind of wipe her hand over her face, and for the first time, and you're the only one to see how she looks outside of the pastel paints, she has this tawny skin and these rich brown locks just falling down her back. She smiles, and she has the most human elven face that you've seen out of any of the Fae so far. Even Goodfellow's human form is just a little bit too angular in certain ways, but hers looks basically human. You see her kind of take her hand as she just pushes out and pulls in just this little bit of dream matter forming around her hands into a teacup and a pair of saucers as she puts it down and pours both of you some tea. I'll have to get used to wearing this face again. I haven't worn it since Arthur's time. She says as she takes a sip. It's a different world back then. But enough about the past. You have something coming for you.
Yes.
Have you thought about what you want?
I mean, my initial wish may have to wait for 2 years. I think you know what I want. I've said it aloud.
Fair enough.
But... And she kind of looks out across the lake water. I mean, I have a hard time thinking of a wish. I think you know how practical I can be. That anything worth wishing for should be worth fighting for and earning that, controlling whatever consequences that could come. I've always been told also, if you're going to make a wish, sometimes it's the best to be the most selfless with it. Can I give you my wish?
He smiles. She takes your hand, kisses the back of it.
Oh, I should have been flirting you.
My sweet child. What I'm going to do with this wish is keep it. Hide it away from you. You never know. There might be a day where you have something desperate enough for you to make a wish for it. And when that happens, she looks down to the back of your hand where she kissed, and you see that there is an intricate little silver and jade ring wrapped around your pinky finger. You'll know what to do.
Thank you.
Well, you were the last. Rest. If you have any need, you can always find me in your dreams.
Oh, we must be having tea more often.
Well, I look forward to the invitations. Well, don't let Goodfellow get off too easy, she says
Oh,
as she
heavens no.
stands up.
He still
she
owes me
smiles.
the fall scent.
Oh, he has plans for that, don't worry. He says he said that one he wants to be absolutely perfect.
I'm sure he'll do it.
And with that, she fades from your dreams. And AP, the next morning you wake up.
It's up. His head has all that knowledge just swirling around. He looks over, and we see a clip. You see on the nightstand next to him, his flask is sitting there. Well, that's one step closer to what we need to make sure that in 2 years we're ready to fight him. But I think this will be helpful too. And he reaches, and it looks like he's reaching for the flask, but he grabs what Goodfellow had given him. And he swigs and drinks that. I don't know if I'll ever see it, Ellie, but I have people here I need to protect for as long as I can.
And as you say that, your pupils dilate, contract to a slit like a cat's eye. And that's what we're going to call the season.
More to come!
More to come!
Well, 2 years.
I mean,
Yeah, 2 years for the
everyone.
rest of us.
Yeah, 2 years for everyone
500
else.
years for
500 years.
So
for me.
500 years for for Felicity, and AP's going to be around for a very, very, very long time. Don't worry, the general's going to have a senile little drinking buddy with him. It'll be fine.
Sister!
Michael, lower your.
Oh, dear sister! Oh.
It's alright, I'll age with you, and I'll just change it back later.
Once we're all gone, you're like, all right, 20 years again.
Bye.
Once I learn all the magic secrets, I might be able to re-age myself as well. So.
Hey.
Hey.
So we'll find out. Ooh.
Well, now there's just the Blackwood and the Grimm. That's all there is now.
The Blackwood and the Grimm. Yeah, I
Very
just figured
cool.
it made sense for him. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very
Very
It was a
long.
Marathon finale.
Yeah,
It was
Yeah.
good.
Yep,
Great,
yep,
great,
it was
great
worth
game,
it.
Grimm. Great game.
All right, should we sign off?
Yes.
Let the streamers go.
Let our viewers go. Thank you so much, viewers.
free.
Yeah.
Be free.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Good
Thanks
night.
for watching.
Bye.